Rachel Holden in the Nesson Studios with fantasy football expert Darren Hartwell. And Darren, the regular season is less than a month away, so it's time to focus on our fantasy rosters here. And we're going to focus on keeper leagues, which is where you can retain players from a previous season for this season for fantasy owners. All right, so what's the secret to these leagues?
Well, there's some luck involved, but I guess the general premise is you want to find a young guy, usually a young guy who can help you for years to come and kind of stay on your team and help you out for the future. An example I like to use, Odell Beckham Jr. kind of came out of nowhere. You get him for good value in 1 year, and then he explodes in the next year. He's on your team for a really low price. So that's kind of the key there.
Okay, who are some players that you're eyeing that fantasy owners should try to hold on to?
Well, believe it or not, I like the Oakland Raiders this year. I'm looking at a pair of Raiders in Derek Carr and Amari Cooper. Both are fairly young players, especially Cooper. He's only in his second year. I think the Raiders actually might have a chance to be decent on offense this season. Carr kind of came into his own a little bit last year, and Cooper had 1,000 yards. He was the only rookie receiver with 1,000 yards. So I think that combination, if they kind of keep building, this Raiders team could surprise some people, and they're going to be the ones putting up the fantasy points.
What about the players we should get rid of?
Well, I'm looking at two guys who are talented players in not so great situations. The first is DeMarco Murray. He's on the Titans now. You don't really want to go with guys on the Titans for fantasy. They've never really been a good fantasy team. DeMarco Murray obviously last season didn't have that much production on the Eagles, so I really don't think he's trending in the right direction. Another guy, Demaryius Thomas, he's been great in fantasy leagues recently, but going from Peyton Manning to Marc Sanchez or Trevor Siemian or whoever the Broncos are going to have at quarterback, I really don't like that for Thomas. Especially as the #1 receiver, he's going to see the opposing team's top cornerbacks. So I really see him kind of declining a little bit. So, I'd probably stay away from them a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Darren. Well, we got you covered this fantasy season with blogs, podcasts, you name it, we got it. So keep it locked on Nesson.com.